What's up there, humans? Thanks for checking out the show. I'm your host, Tony Bardo, where each week we'll talk about health, wellness, happiness, and social interaction. We're a very weird species, the human race, so I'm going to interview experts and friends from all over to help spread some knowledge. If you like it, share it, review it, and tell a friend. For now, enjoy today's episode.
You're just funny. It's funny, the way you tell the story and everything.
Funny how?
Come here though. Yeah, he's crazy, see? Who are you?
We interrupt this program to bring you a special report.
Are you ready?
Hey there, friends. What's going on? Sorry, just drinking to focus. Man, I needed this today. Shameless plug, but yeah, check out drinkfocus.com. Fuck, man, you ever have like one of those days where you're just trying to shake off whatever gunk you got going on? Like there's something, like you got something going on. Whether it's, big or small, doesn't matter. If it bothers you, it's a big deal. No one could tell you if it's a big deal or not, except you. And I'm having one of those days. I woke up today and I was trying to get ahead of work, and obviously finished out the day. It's after 5 p.m. But everyone else in the company is off today. But I decided to work because tomorrow I have my procedure, another procedure, to go even deeper into my lung to see if there's any other funkiness going on. And then this week, so that's tomorrow, it's Tuesday. And then Thursday I got to follow up with the surgeon to see, the results of everything. So it's just, I'm trying to get in this mode, man. And, that's why I want to do a podcast, is it always kind of like allows me to vent and level everything out. But it has been so hard to get motivated lately, and I talk a lot about that on this show. So I feel like it would be hypocritical for me to, say, oh, it's all sunshine and rainbows over here, and normally it is. And it's not because I'm fucking hopped up on, focus all the time, even though I am. It's not because of that. It's not only because of that. But it has a lot to do with just, normally I don't like to take things too seriously, and the serious stuff that does come up, I could usually look at the positive side of a lot of stuff, for example, we have a lot going on in our personal life. We know that. And, the housing market has been really good for a while, actually, funny enough. And, I've had a couple properties, the wife and I, and, we figured this was like a sign to we had some rental properties. Let's just sell it and let's just make money. And we did that. And it was a very great idea. So what was the negative of that situation? Well, the negative was rental property is awesome because you can get some passive income and it pays for our current property. So there's no downside really to rental property. I mean, you got to manage it, but as long as you're good with managing shit, you're fine. So the negative is we got to dump that, but the positive of it is we could profit some money and use that for a retirement plan or whatever, right? So I can always look at the positive and stuff. I just can't find the positive in everything that's been going on with me lately. Because it's been so hard to not just stay positive with this. Work's been helping because they're very supportive and they're great. And it's just been tough to get, I haven't worked out in weeks, just because even just playing with our new puppy, after a few minutes I start coughing really bad and, I'm out of breath. And because I have all these tests that I have to get done, they're having me go off my multivitamins. So that's been kind of shitty, right? Because if you ever take a bunch of multivitamins for years and then you get off it, I don't know if you've ever done that before. It's not the best idea because your body's so used to it, supplementing those, whether it's zinc, vitamin D, whatever you're supplementing. And my body's freaking out, right? And I'm not eating the best, because I'm just not motivated to cook as much anymore. And I haven't been posting on social media just because I don't want to be on my phone a lot. And, I'm just not sleeping the best because we got a new puppy. And it's just all this stuff where it's I'm trying to stay positive. And then you look on the news. Don't ever look on the news. But you look on the news and you see, this Omicron and this new variant and, all the stuff's going on. And then you kind of realize you're like, everyone's freaking out about all this shit that's going on in the world. And, everyone talks politics and everyone talks about this and that. And it's so funny that when you really boil everything down, there is nothing outside of your household and your family that you have control over. Nothing. You don't have control over really what the government does. You don't have control over what, your HOA does. You don't have control over a mask mandate or what the restaurants want to do. You don't have control over a lot of stuff. And that's kind of what helps me keep an even mind on a lot of stuff and an objective view on a lot of stuff, is because we just can't really control anything that happens except our four walls, right? And what is going on in our life. And, with the new year, I'm just trying to think to myself, what can I do to jumpstart my new year? Because I couldn't do a lot of the stuff I wanted to do because I was either in the hospital or, we just had some family issues. So it's how can I start my year? What can I control? Because I can't work out. And that's usually what allows me to alleviate stress. And, there's another thing, but we're fine there. TMI. But, what else? Eating healthy really helps me kind of also have a clear head on things. And I'm just so pissed off. If I'm being honest. I'm so irritated. Even right now, I'm trying to get the motivation and get up and go work out or go do something. But I just know that once I get down there and once I get down to the gym, I'm going to start, wheezing like a fat kid at dodgeball. And I won't be able to work on it. And then, I get depressed, right? Because if you know me, working out is such a big part of my life. It's when I get down there and I can't do what I always do, it's depressing. It truly is. I don't know if you guys have ever dealt with that, right? You've dealt with, things that you can't do for whatever reason, or you're restricted, but it becomes a part of you, right? It becomes a part of your life, whether that's, a hobby or going to a certain, venue or location that's meaningful or whatever it is. As humans, we kind of adopt these rituals and these things that are a part of our lives, and when you can't do it anymore, it's kind of shitty, right? There's a lot of mental health consequences to that, and I'm definitely feeling that. I'm feeling the lethargic, lazy feeling that maybe some of us have went through, and this helps me kind of get my mind off it. Even just these few minutes, it's definitely. I mean, it's helped me a little bit. I can feel it already helping. It's also when the fuck are we gonna get back to normal? And I think that's a big part of it, right? Is because, normally I'm fine. We're probably all fine normally. Well, not all of us. Most of us are probably fine, on a daily basis. And this is just not fine. This whole pandemic thing, it's just not fine. Things are not okay. And they haven't been okay for 2+ years. What the fuck? I don't get it. What do we do? Okay, we changed presidents. Did that help? I don't know. What do you guys think? Make that call. I don't think it helped. But I also don't think the president has any control over anything, right? He doesn't. Say what you want about our government, but no. The whole one president thing is ignorant. I've been saying it for a long time. We need multiple presidents. It just doesn't work. One dude is supposed to be the leader of the free world, and our guy just happens to be extremely old now. And, nothing against if you voted for Biden, no big deal. I mean, a lot of us thought that he was going to be the better option. I didn't vote for him personally, but only because I almost didn't think he was going to last this long, if I'm being honest. I mean, if that was your grandfather, like your actual grandfather, like your real grandfather, and he wasn't the president, he was just, Grandpa Joe, you'd be worried. No? Okay. So it's okay. He's old. It's okay to admit it. Doesn't matter what side you're on. You just got to admit that this is probably not the best thing. Like, I voted for Trump when he first ran. I thought it was going to be interesting, and I thought it was going to be different. So I did, whatever. But in the 4 years, I was like, this guy's an idiot. Like, there were certain things where I'm like, all right, that was a good move. Other times, I'm like, most of the time, I'm like, what are you doing, bud? Why are you being such an idiot? So it's okay to, if you're a Democrat and you voted for Joe Biden, it's okay to admit that we're in a weird situation right now and that they're probably pumping him full of some crazy experimental drugs just to keep him alive. Like, it's okay to admit that. He's old. It's no big deal. It's just part of life. People get old. Don't take so much offense to it. But it's like, okay, so if that was supposed to be the solution and we're not there yet, how is this country going to get back to where it needs to be? Was the best situation to be where we're at now with the vaccine? I don't know. And this is what I mean, where things aren't normal right now. The reason I'm talking kind of about my situation and comparing it to this is because I think if this wasn't going on, I would be in a different situation. But I'm sure a lot of us out there know someone dealing with bigger issues than what I'm dealing with, and depression and all that. Maybe you're dealing with it. I don't know. But this pandemic thing isn't helping. And the fact that our government isn't taking that stuff into account, it makes me think that I'm smarter than our government. And I'm an idiot. I'm a college dropout. I am not smart in a lot of these topics that I'm talking about. But you don't have to be, right? These are my opinions. I'm allowed to have them. That's why it's called the Berardo Podcast and not the fill in the blank, your podcast. Start your own podcast if you don't like my opinions. But that's the whole idea, is these are my opinions. This is what I'm thinking. I'm just talking out loud. I'm not scripting anything. And if the pandemic wasn't going on, I think I would be in a better situation. I think a lot of us would be. Now, the question is, well, who started the pandemic? Or why are we still here? Is the vaccine helping? Maybe it's helping. But ever since the vaccine, we've had multiple variants. What I don't like about it, and I talked about this on the last show, is the very fact that there's not a lot of studies when you do take the vaccine. It's just so new. You look at like FDA approved drugs, and like I was on Humira for a while for my Crohn's disease. Well, everyone's seen the Humira commercial, right? We've all seen it. They're very annoying, and they're so fake and stupid. But at the end of it, what does it say? It says, now, if you take Humira, you will have negative side effects, and this could cause cancer and tumors and asthma, leaky gut, and whatever it is. I don't think that's any of them. I probably just made all that up. But there's warnings when you take this type of medication, any medication. Now, when you got the vaccine, what did they tell you was the side effects? We don't know. And that's what worries me, is the fact that we don't know. What upsets me more about what's going on with my issue, and the reason I'm talking about all this stuff, is I don't think it has to do with the vaccine, but I think it could be. And that's all I'm saying, is it's possible. But it's also possible that maybe it's COVID. Maybe I got COVID and didn't know it, and this is a side effect, what's going on in my lung. Maybe it's just coincidence. Maybe it's just a tumor that just grew just because. But my whole point is, though, is the idea that all this information is coming out and we don't have solutions for it is frustrating. And all the money that's getting invested into this vaccine, and that's the only treatment for it, is frustrating. You're telling me the only treatment for the pandemic is a vaccine. But really for every other virus that we have, not frickin' chicken pox, and everyone talks vaccine like that. But what about the flu? You can take the vaccine, right? But you also have what? You also have over-the-counter stuff that you can take, and it helps. You have stuff that you can get from a doctor that's prescribed. That's a lot stronger than like NyQuil and Theraflu. You have that stuff. The reason being is not because it's new information. It's because it's years and years of trial and error and years into figuring out a solution. We didn't have the vaccine year 2 when we had the flu. Now maybe we're more advanced. I don't know. But it just worries me a little bit more that there's no investment into people with this thing. There's just investment into this fucking drug. And when you stop and think about it, it's kind of weird, isn't it? Like there's billions of dollars getting invested into the vaccine and the government is funding it. And we're pumping all this money into the vaccine. Pfizer, Moderna, like our government's paying for that. So those companies are just making money. Now, these are the same companies, by the way, the pharmaceutical companies that you and I chose years ago that were like, fuck pharmaceutical companies. They're just some money-grubbing companies. But now we're supposed to be like, oh, we trust you. I mean, what are we doing here? Where are we getting all this information? How are we brainwashed so easily by something like this? Now, should you take the vaccine? I don't know. I'm not a doctor. Ask your doctor. If the doctor tells you to take it, you should probably take it. The whole idea is the billions of dollars that we're investing into this vaccine, but not one penny is investing into mental health during this time. Think about that. Every American right now, whether it's me dealing with the sickness that I'm dealing with, or there's someone out there that lost a loved one that's also having to stay home and can't go out, or maybe you live in a state with bigger restrictions than I'm at, so now you're really locked down. Maybe you live in like a territory or a country that's absolutely like, look at Canada. Oh my God, they can't even leave. And they're snowed in most of the time. So it's like you can't even do anything. So you're telling me all the people that are dealing with this bullshit and our government can't invest $1 into our well-being. Oh, what, they help with the unemployment fund? Okay. The reason you have this unemployment assistance, okay, and I was on that for a little bit, by the way. It sucks. But the reason why we had that unemployment assistance is because people were losing their jobs because of the pandemic. Yeah, of course, if I break a wine bottle in my kitchen, I'm going to clean it up. So they don't get credit for that type of shit, okay? Number one. Number two, the whole idea behind this pandemic is to make things better so we can get back to normal, right? Well, where are those steps? Forget about the president. Again, it doesn't matter what president. Get that through your guys' head. We've seen that time and time again. It doesn't matter who the president is. The Senate, the Congress, do your research, okay? The president means nothing. He's a poster child for our government, okay? He does what he's told. He's a little puppet, all right? It doesn't matter. That's why half the time when they run for election, they lie to us and tell us that they're going to do this and do that. And then once they get in office, they can't do it. It doesn't mean they're bad people. It means the second they get in the office, someone above them in Congress and Senate tells them, listen, man, you're not going to get the votes. We can't pass that law. So, on to the next. And us as Americans, we just bend over and take it because we're so used to it time and time and time again. So what is the next plan? How are we going to make things better? Well, I'm starting to realize that there's nothing we can do because we're relying on a force of humans that have no idea what they're doing. They just don't. And I don't think they're doing it on purpose. I just don't think they don't know. I don't think they have a plan B. Just like when we talk about climate change with our government. They don't think it's that big of a deal. If they were, they would take action. But there is a group of people that think it is a bad idea to change how we're doing things. Just because a bunch of vegans and hippies are saying climate change. They're like, nah, we don't want to do that. We want to make money. The problem is it's money. It's money with the vaccine. It's money with the climate change. It's money with everything. Money's the most important thing. We're expendable as humans. I don't think there's a conspiracy theory. I really don't. I just think that people don't care. I think that men cheat on their wives and their girlfriends because they know there's other pussy out there. Just like I think the government's kind of doing whatever the fuck they want to do and they don't care about us because they know there's going to be fucking 1 million babies born in a week. They don't care. Those babies are going to grow up and they're going to get easily influenced. Like, who cares? There's more humans that are on the way, man. That's what they care about. Humans are their flow, and there is no stopping that anytime soon. Now, I think if something came out where it was like, all right, humans now, starting today, no one can have babies anymore. We don't know what happened. Everyone stopped making babies. We don't know why. It just happened. Now, I think if that happened a few years later, the government's going to be like, oh, shit. We need to treat these group of humans better because this is all we got. We need to do what they want. because these are the last humans to live. That might happen. But until then, we're fucked. That's why every single company you see out there, whether it's a pharmaceutical company or it's a food company full of processed foods and shit that is proven to harm us, just like cigarette companies, proven to cause lung cancer. Proven. But they throw a label on the box and still make it legal for us to smoke. Why is it even allowed? I don't know. We can go down the list. The reason being is because it's all about money. And if those companies are making money and the government's the only people that can change it, then you don't have to be a scientist or anybody to know the government is making money somehow. There's politicians making $500,000 a year. How? When we have cops and firefighters making $40,000 a year. Walk me through that fucking process. The whole idea of just doing what we're told, we need to be careful. It just upsets me beyond belief that we don't know the side effects of anything that's happening, and not only are we putting in this abnormal, weird thing in our body that we don't know what it is, and maybe it's the cure, I don't know, but how could it be the cure if we get the shot, but you could still potentially get COVID, and you could still potentially get other people sick? So why are we taking it? To lessen the effects of COVID? That's what we're told, right? It's going to lessen the effects of COVID. All I know is for a year, I didn't have COVID. So maybe it's a person-to-person basis. Maybe I don't need to take it. But the problem is, though, that's not the science behind it that our government's using. They're not saying, oh, you should take this if you fit XYZ. You shouldn't take this if you fit XYZ. Do you know what? The reason we can't do those studies is because there's not enough time. We wanted to push this thing out so quick, and maybe it was the best intentions. But I just know that I'm a pretty healthy human being, and the fact that I had to deal with this shit, and it has taken a massive toll on my life. It's very frustrating. So I'm kind of looking for answers because the doctors that I talk to don't have answers. All I keep hearing about is doctors and nurses keep saying that cases of respiratory infections and, pneumonia and things like that. When I went in urgent care for pneumonia, the nurse there that said that there was over 5 people that had pneumonia my age that week. She said she's never seen it like that. She's like, it doesn't make sense. Why? Because it's flu season? Maybe. But last year it wasn't like this. The year before it wasn't. The year before it wasn't. Her words, not mine. So I don't know. What was the... Maybe it's COVID finding its way and trying to create a new variant through our body. But then you look at like Omicron, and that's actually less deadly than everything else. Like, I don't even think there's been any deaths yet. Here we're our second week of January. I think there might be like maybe 2 from Omicron. So it seems like things are getting better. But why aren't we told that? Why aren't we said, okay, guys, hey, things are getting better. We're good. Head outside. It's all gravy. Because they're trying to protect us? I mean, okay. But what about the next thing? And the thing after that? And the thing after that? It's just scary that we're doing all this work to protect us from one virus, but leadership doesn't do any work to protect us from other stuff. Like, they don't do other stuff like, I don't know, stop drunk driving or help veterans. Make things easier on people during this time. Like, obviously the pandemic has been crazy and unpredictable. But the vaccine for sure obviously hasn't worked. We have to keep getting boosted. So what's it doing? It's preventing us from having it? No, it's not. It's making it less worse when you do get it. Oh, so we are going to get it. Okay, so if we're going to get it, let's just all fucking go outside and have a bunch of orgies and sweat on each other and kiss each other, and let's all get COVID. But with the vaccine, it'll be less of COVID, but at least we'll have herd immunity, right? Are people going to die? Probably. But people have died for the last 2.5 years from this. I don't think that's going to change, even when this is gone, right? But now we're adding on top of those deaths, now we're adding on people with negative side effects of the vaccine. And I'll let you look that up, but people are getting it. Am I one of those people? I don't know. I'll let you know in the next couple days when I go in and get this surgery done. But all I know is I've never had any issues with my lungs before, which is a respiratory problem. Having trouble with breathing. Never had COVID. I got strong antibodies. But somehow I'm getting this. I don't know. I don't know what to think. It's just more annoying because I can't get back to my normal life. Like, I'm hoping once all this is done, I can. But it's, I don't know, man. It's a little shitty. And I know there's a lot of people out there that are dealing with the same thing. And I guess my question is, you know, it's okay to be a little suspect of this. You know, but I think it's more annoying because I can't stand it when people say, I can't stand it when people are so matter of fact with stuff. That's probably my biggest pet peeve. And I used to be like that. I think I've gotten better. I'm definitely not 100% not matter of fact. Like, there's a couple things where sometimes I get stubborn and, you know, you can't talk me out of it. But most stuff I think I'm pretty objective with. And that's what I tried to do. And it just upsets me more that when it comes to the pandemic and it comes to this other stuff, like, everybody has different opinions on it. But from a public standpoint, there's no other solution except get this fucking vaccine. But then when you get it, we could still get the Rona. So why am I getting it? Is there another way? Maybe we should do something else. You know, they say people are at high risk if they're overweight or pre-existing conditions. Why aren't we pitching health? Lose weight. Get on a workout plan. Why spend billions of dollars to these pharmaceutical companies when all you have to do is give a few $1,000s in free gym memberships to maybe someone that their body mass index is not the best? Maybe they need to lose a little weight. Maybe they're obese for their age. Maybe you make mandated gym visits for those folks. Tony, you can't do that. Mandated gym visits for the overweight? No. No. That goes against our freedoms. What? But I got to get a mandated vaccine, depending on where I live or where I work. How does that make sense? How does it make sense to inject me with something? I don't know what's in it. You don't know what's in it. There's no side effects, apparently. There's no studies of it. That's mandated. But we're not going to mandate people to get healthier. In fact, we're going to go ahead and reward people to eat shitty food at fast food chains because it's cheaper. Let's reward people for that. But we're going to mandate a shot. Something's funky. And then the more and more I think about it, and I'm not a conspiracy theorist, I swear to God I'm not. It sounds like I am, but I'm not. But just the more and more I think about it, it's just all about the money. I don't think there's a conspiracy. It's just all about the money. Because, I mean, Beyond Meat, right? Just as an example, it's not that I don't think it's healthier than, you know, real meat. I don't think it's healthier than salad. I don't think it's healthier than a lot of things because there's a lot of oils and things like that. But I know it's healthier than McDonald's. I know that for sure. But Beyond Meat costs more than McDonald's. McDonald's will make so much money. Where do you think some of their money's going? They probably donate to a couple organizations, you know what I mean? So do a lot of these big companies. Interesting. Let's see how many people are obese in America. So this is in 2021, right? So this is the past year. What percentage of Americans are obese? Nearly 40% of American adults from the age of 20 and over are obese. 71% of adults ages 20 and over are overweight, including obesity. So 71.6% of people in America are considered overweight. So ipso facto, if you're telling me that COVID has a higher risk of folks that are obese, have diabetes, pre-existing conditions, etc., if they're at higher risk, that means 71.6% of Americans are at higher risk for COVID, just like they're at higher risk for heart disease and diabetes and a lot of other shit. So let's fix the problem. The problem is not COVID, I don't think. I think the problem is we need to fix our health overall in the country. Because here's the issue I see. Me as a healthy individual, semi-healthy, aside from my Crohn's and whatever the fuck my lungs are doing right now. But take a really healthy individual. And if they're exposed to COVID because an unhealthy person gives it to them. So how do we prevent that? We make everybody as healthy as possible. And how do we do that? I think it's easy. We outlaw the bullshit that is bad for you. And we put taxes on it to make it more expensive. You know, they've done that with a couple of countries, They've done that with a couple of states with the sugar tax. So maybe we do that with fast food. You know, if you eat a lot of fast food, or, you know, I don't know how you could do it on a mass scale, but if your credit card or anything like that, or your receipts, however you do your taxes, maybe we could track it that way. But if primarily a lot of your food is fast food, maybe you get taxed more. And maybe that'll be an incentive not to eat that food. I don't know. I'm spitting out ideas here. Only reason I say fast food is it's so funny because if you also pull up a very similar article, it says that 30% of the meals that obese people have are fast food. So out of that 71.6% of people that are obese in America, that are overweight in America, so that 71.6% of people that are overweight in America, 31% of their meals are fast food. So almost half of their meals are fast food. Yes, Chick-fil-A is fast food, and it's not good for you. Is it better for you than McDonald's? Maybe, but it's still fast food. It's still getting shipped from 15 different locations, touching 30 people's hands, frozen, fried, room temperature, frozen, fried, room temperature. It's still not the best for you. Okay? And the faster we realize that this is a bigger deal than this fucking pandemic, the faster we're going to get over a lot of stuff. SARS was just the beginning. COVID-19 is probably the beginning. Now you look at Delta, you look at Omicron. Guess what? Next year, we're probably going to have something else. It's because we're not fixing the problem. We're not fixing the actual issue, which is our health and our well-being. And we have to fix that first, because there's going to be more viruses that are going to be coming. And there's not a whole lot we can do to stop it. I'm just telling you. And I'm no scientist. I'm no doctor. Let me say that again. But it's not rocket science here, folks. If you're healthy, the odds of you getting sick drop drastically. And by getting sick, that also means any virus that comes our way. Whether that's the fucking flu, pandemic, anything. Now, Spanish flu, smallpox, if that comes back, we have a problem. But the good news is it's decades of testing that, and that's why we have those shots. That's why we can take that. But something that's so new, it's been proven that if you're healthier and if you're not overweight or obese, you won't get this. So that to me seems like a no-brainer. Like the first thing I would have done if I was president, and again, I don't believe in being president. I think it's stupid. I think we should have multiple presidents and not even call them presidents because it's too powerful a position. And everybody in the world is greedy and selfish. So the presidency is stupid. But if I was president, first thing I would do when I hear about that, I'd be like, oh, we got to get everyone healthy. We have to get everyone healthy. There's 71% of our Americans that are overweight. So 71% of those people are at risk of COVID. That'd be the first thing I do. It's like, oh, we got to fix that 71%. How do we do that? Because if we can lower that, what does that do? That helps lower our chances of getting any pandemic, getting any virus. I don't know. To me, it's rocket science, but for some reason, it takes billions of dollars to invest into a vaccine that we don't even know what is in it. And if it works, we don't know if it works. There hasn't been enough trials for it. And we don't know the side effects. So I think if we just can continue to be healthy and do what we can to stay healthy, it's going to help our chances. But for now, I had to do this rant because it's so crazy what's going on in the world right now. Like, again, we're not taking into account all this negative side effects that this pandemic is causing. You know, forget the fact that you can't go to your local restaurant. Who cares about that? But look at what's going on in California and New York. In New York, there's these crazy stipulations, restrictions that they're trying to put into place with kids about kids getting the shot early, or else you can't go to school. Or they're trying to do that. And then you look over in LA, and there's all these train robberies. Did you hear about this? Well, you could look it up. Just type in LA train robberies. And just a couple times a month, there's these train robbers that literally break into all these trains that are shipping millions of boxes of packages of COVID testing, Amazon gifts, UPS shit, like all types of stuff. You could look it up. The video and pictures are outrageous. And that's going on right now. It's because people are desperate and people are scared. You know, and a lot of this falls on each of us humans. It's a big responsibility that we have to undertake. We have to really take a look at ourselves inside and out and say, what am I doing to contribute to society? And if you're smart enough and hopefully use critical thinking skills and you say, I'm not doing the right things, and you change, then maybe, you know, you can influence and help other people change. So a lot of that is a responsibility that we're going to have to take on that we shouldn't. I mean, honestly, you always want to be a good human, but at the end of the day, we shouldn't have to worry about crazy people out there or us losing our job because the government shuts down our restaurant and we can't go to work every day. Like, that's a real concern. Like, you could lose your job through no fault of your own. Like, that's a real thing. And we've never had to worry about that before. But now we really have to take a look at ourselves and say, what's important? What are we contributing to society? You know, what can we do to prevent any type of struggle that we might have with our family? You know, maybe we have to save up more money. Maybe we have to spend less money. You know, maybe we have to do something that is going to kind of prepare us, because the next 5 years, it might be kind of more scary than it is now. And I hope it doesn't get that way. But we have to start thinking. You know, we have to really start thinking, what if? Because it's fucking crazy out there. And I hope you guys are taking care of yourself. I know I've changed my outlook, like long term, like what I'm trying to do. Oof, boy, let me tell you something. But I hope you guys are staying smart, stay healthy, and get each other's back. This will all be over soon, but take care of yourself, though. Don't rely on anybody else to do it. We got to focus on you. Okay? Until next time, folks. Thanks for listening to this episode. Sorry if it kind of got to a long rant. But if you haven't got a chance to already, definitely check out some of our sponsors and our friends over at Perfect Keto. So they partnered up with Superfat. You guys hear me talk about Superfat all the time, but now Perfect Keto has tons of great options, not just for snacks, but actually legit, like to enhance your meals. So like collagen for your coffee, super greens to make sure you can get all the veggies and fruits. You could throw that in a smoothie if you want, or just mix it in water. So they have all types of really cool stuff. Check out perfectketo.com. Use the code TheBerardo if you want a discount. You're going to get 15% off your entire purchase. So load up your cart as much as you want. Share it with friends, share it with family. And again, it's just a really great start for the year to take care of your body, give your body the nutrients it needs. Perfectketo.com. Again, use the code TheBerardo10. But until next time, thank you so much for listening to the show, and we will see you soon. Peace.